Welcome back. Today we're at Hat Yai City Municipality Park. It's a big place, it's very pleasant, very well kept. I haven't been here for a while. It's not exactly convenient because of where I live now. It's right on the other side of Hat Yai. But these videos are quite a good opportunity for me to reacquaint myself with places I haven't been to for a while. This guy's just started up a strimmer. He's been really noisy, so I'm going to move on somewhere else. As well as telling you what's here now, I'll also tell you a bit about what was here in the past. And for several years, this building here was turned into an ice dome. I think it came from somewhere in China, Harbin or somewhere. It must have been quite a novelty for the local Thais to see snow and ice, but I've seen more than enough snow and ice in my lifetime, so I never went. I wasn't interested. We're at street level at the moment, and later on I'll go up the mountain where there are temples, a cable car and some great views of Hat Yai. And previously there used to be a number of restaurants along here where you could buy food. Now there only appears to be one, and Song 1, so it's closed for 2 days, but presumably it's normally open apart from these 2 days. It's a big area and it's immaculately maintained, and there are people like this who are just working permanently to keep it clean. And just over here is something I haven't seen before. Suan Samun Prai. Suan is garden and Samun Prai is herbs. Not sure what this is about, but as I said, I haven't seen it before. King Rama V is perhaps the most beloved of the Thai kings. There's a big memorial service every year on the 23rd of October, and it's held here in Hat Yai. I came a number of years ago, and there were hundreds of government officials in their white uniforms paying their respects to the king. Kings Rama IV and Rama V were very interesting people. Rama IV learnt a lot from foreign missionaries in the country. He learnt about science, astronomy, language, and his son Rama V started the process of modernising Thailand, so it eventually became the country it is today. He initiated the rail network, postal service, and also abolished slavery. People seem to think that, you know, slavery was only the sort of African American slave trade, white slave traders enslaving black Africans, but virtually every country had slavery. And in Thailand at one time they had a corvée system where every Thai was expected to work for the state for 6 months of every year, and he abolished that. Even from this level you start to get good views of Hat Yai, and as we go up higher the views will get even better. And it's a perfect day today. It's not too hot. Yesterday was an absolute scorcher. It was way too hot. Today it's a little bit overcast, pleasant temperatures and a nice cool breeze. This has really changed a lot since I was last here, and the last few times I've come I haven't come to this side of the park. This place is called a wood ball field, and this game looks a lot like a Thai version of croquet. There used to be a lot of animals here, but they have now gone. On this side of the park there was like a huge bird enclosure. It was like a cage, so it was enclosed, so the birds couldn't get out, but they could fly around freely, a bit like Jurong Bird Park in Singapore, if you're familiar with that place. And on the other side there used to be a sort of small menagerie with some cassowaries and other exotic birds and animals, but they've all gone as well. Now they've just turned this place into a plant nursery. I think it's important that all cities should have lungs. Bangkok has got like Lumpini Park and a few other little parks, but not really enough. London has got a lot of parks, and a lot of cities in the world have parks. And I'm really pleased to see that the Hat Yai municipality put so much money and effort into maintaining this place. And they really do. There's a lot of staff here cleaning up, watering the plants, and it must cost the local authorities a lot of money, but obviously they think it's worth it, and so do I. As most of you know, the Thailand Pass is being dropped from the 1st of July, So after that date to come in the country, you will no longer need health insurance. You'll still need to show either proof of vaccination or a negative PCR test, but it will certainly make getting into Thailand a lot easier, and a lot of people will be happy about them dropping the health insurance requirement. Just looking around today, I would say probably half the people here are wearing masks. The police and the security guards at the entrance weren't wearing masks, so it seems to be like a sort of personal option now. If people feel safer wearing one, they wear one. If not, they don't. And I've seen quite a few studies about this where they've looked at people who are wearing masks and who are not wearing masks, and the masks are completely ineffective. The size of the virus is smaller than the width of a human hair. So I heard one guy say, if you're wearing a mask and you can slip a hair anywhere inside the mask, it's just useless. And that applies to all the masks I see around now. And another change, I went into a department store yesterday in Hat Yai, Diana department store, and for the last couple of years you become accustomed to, whenever you go somewhere, as you enter through the door, you put your hand up for the machine to record your temperature. And I did it yesterday. The machine wasn't there, it had gone. And the security guard told me that the government has said they're no longer necessary. 7-Eleven have still got them. And I also asked the security guard whether, while they had the machines, if there was anyone ever with a higher temperature, and he said no. So they were completely ineffective. And I only heard one going off once. My temperature is always around 36.2, 36.3, and one day I went into a 7-Eleven that I don't usually go into, just put my hand up, continued to walk through, and the machine started bleeping. It showed a temperature of 37.5, and obviously this machine wasn't calibrated correctly, but there was just no response at all. So even if it had been calibrated correctly and I had a high temperature, no one would have done anything. So just another complete waste of time. If I had one wish in Thailand, it would be that I didn't need to have a car and I didn't need to drive. I drive far too much. I take my son to school Monday to Friday and take him to play football on Saturday and Sunday. That's every day. And the Thai roads are just like racetracks. There's a good proportion of Thai drivers that just drive as fast as they possibly can, and all they're interested in doing is driving as close to the vehicle in front or overtaking the vehicle in front. It really is like a racetrack, and at times it stresses me out. And it's just so nice to be in a peaceful place close to nature where there aren't maniacs driving around all the time. There's a little lake here with pedalos. You can rent one of these for 40 baht. I don't think there's a time limit. You just go back when you feel tired, and in this heat you feel tired very quickly. And this lake is absolutely teeming with fish. You can buy bags of fish food for 10 baht, and you throw some food in, the water just starts bubbling with these huge catfish. So it's a really, really pleasant place. Ahan pla tung 10 baht is a fish food, and you can also buy drinks and snacks. There's a covered pavilion where various activities are organised. When I've been here before, I've seen youngsters all dressed up in their cosplay uniforms, and my kids went through a roller skating phase at one time, and we brought them over here to roller skate. And this place here is perfect for roller skating. I'm going to throw some fish food in the water and wait to see what happens. As I said, normally you don't see them, it's under the water, but when you throw food in and they come to the surface, the water just bubbles. There are some more food shops over here, also selling fresh fruit. And if you come with kids and the kids start getting a bit bored, there are plaster figurines they can paint. You can buy whichever figurine you want. They're at different prices, and they will give you a little palette of paint and a brush. My kids have done that several times. These stainless railings are all new. Haven't seen these before. They look very nice. I just mentioned how pleasant it is to come to a place where people aren't racing vehicles around all the time. And I spoke a bit too soon. There's a technical college just next door. I actually worked there for a few months several years ago, and some of the technical college students have just decided to come here and race their motorbikes. They put these modified exhausts on to make the bikes as loud as possible, and then ride them as fast as possible. I just don't know why they do it, but it's typical all over Thailand. This footpath is new too, and it's another new addition that looks very good. The local municipality does a fantastic job maintaining this place. They put in a huge amount of resources, both money and time, and it's really paid off. This place is just lovely. There's a lot of new stuff actually. I haven't seen these little statues before. Just up there, there's some Garuda statues, the mythical half human, half bird creatures. And this bridge here is a favourite setting for Thais to take photos for their Facebook and Instagram accounts. In the past, I've read so many accounts from backpackers about how ugly Hat Yai is. They're on the banana pancake trail, either going north from Malaysia into Thailand or going the other way, and they've got to stop in Hat Yai for a night, so they stay in somewhere like the Cathay guest house, which closed now actually, but that's where they used to stay. They just have a look around that area, which isn't very attractive, and tell the world how ugly Hat Yai is. Well, this is Hat Yai, and do you think it's ugly? It's most certainly not. This place is gorgeous. It's also a good place to come if you've got very young children. We've already seen the plaster painting activity that's available, and there are also areas specifically for young children to play. I'm doing this on a Thursday when there aren't too many people around. Just like Central Festival and everywhere else in Thailand, it gets crazy at the weekend on Saturdays and Sundays, but during the week it's fine. And I much prefer coming to these places Monday to Friday. I hate crowds, I hate congestion, I hate traffic jams, and Saturday and Sunday I'd just rather be at home. This building is inside the park grounds, but I don't think many visitors to the park come here. It's actually an art gallery. It's a beautiful building. It's designed in the traditional Thai style. I don't think there are any permanent exhibits, but they have regular temporary exhibits. And I came here a couple of months ago to give them a painting that my wife had done to put in one of their exhibits. She's an art teacher and she paints quite well. It seems that the exhibition with my wife's painting has finished. There's a new exhibition of photographs. They're very nice, all in Hat Yai. I recognise quite a few places. Here's the central mosque, halfway to Songkla. Looks like Kim Yong Market. Yeah, I love this kind of thing. It doesn't seem very popular with Thais. Whenever I come to anywhere like this, I see very few Thais. But if you're interested in art and photography, don't forget the art gallery in the grounds of the Municipal Park. You also see some wildlife here. I wasn't expecting to see this, but a lot of snakes in Thailand, and there's a lot of nature around here. I'm no expert on snakes, I don't know what sort of snake this is. It's very slender, and I doubt very much that it's venomous. He looks pretty friendly. I've now started to go up the hill, and you could walk, but it's a long distance and the incline is quite steep in certain places. It's a tough walk, so I've decided to drive up. As I was driving up, I passed that bird enclosure I was talking about earlier, so it's still there but it's not used. And on the sort of first level as you go up is a restaurant called Bong Khao. I've eaten here before but not for a long time. It's good food and you get a nice view of Hat Yai, so let's just go inside the restaurant and take a look. The restaurant's open and you can sit inside. They've got an outdoor terrace which is very pleasant, but unfortunately this area all seems to be closed off. So I've just come out here to look at the view of Hat Yai. You can see the city in the background. So the food's good as well, so it's a really nice place to come for lunch or dinner. Here's another piece of wildlife that I just found in the toilet. I haven't actually seen one of these for a long time. I get a lot of the regular house geckos in my house, but these tuke geckos are quite rare. They're attractive, sort of green with red spots, and apparently they bite, and when they bite they don't let go, so they can be quite nasty. So I'm not going to go too near it. Here's an elephant statue, and I've got a feeling that this one's Mao. Here's the Hat Yai cable car that I've been on once a number of years ago. A few years back, some German friends came to visit and I brought them here and they ended up not going for a ride. When I asked them why, it was because of the dual pricing policy. They were upset that foreigners were charged more than Thais. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do about it in Thailand. You're quite free to walk away, but if you're not willing to pay the foreign price, then you don't have much option. Demonstration of Thai dancing, and I remember now that this particular temple, this is the first one of 3, has an elephant theme, so there are hundreds of statues of elephants around the place. Big ones and little ones. And over here we should have a bit of a view as well, so we're at quite an elevated position now. Some of the Hat Yai surrounding countryside. You can actually see Songkla Lake from here very clearly. Lots of Chinese firecrackers going off as well. That's all the red debris here. So if you suddenly hear what sounds like an explosion, it's not, it's just firecrackers. At this temple is also the entrance to the cable car, so I'm going to take a look inside and see how much. Here's the pricing. This is what my friends got upset about. So in English and Chinese, adult 200 baht. In Thai, Pu Yai 100 baht. So adults 100 baht. Dek, child, Nakrian, student is 50 baht. When I buy gifts from Thailand from my friends abroad, I like to see that they're made in Thailand. I don't want to buy them something in Thailand and see it's made in Vietnam or China. But when I come to somewhere like this, the last thing I want to see is made in Thailand. And this cable car was made by a company called Doppelmayr, who I think are a German or Swiss, and that gives me a lot more confidence. And we're not at the highest point yet, but we're already getting great views of Hat Yai. And even though as a foreigner you need to pay more than a Thai to use the cable car, I would definitely recommend taking a ride. It's good fun and you get some really good views. I just had a chat with the guy who's taking money for the cable car and asked him, if you live here permanently, do you have to pay the foreigner price? And first he told me, not if you've got a work permit. Well, I don't work, I haven't got a work permit. Then he said, if you've got a Thai driving licence, you don't need to pay it. And I have got a Thai driving licence, so I'm going to go on the cable car. I wasn't expecting to. This is a little surprise for me. There's just 2 cars on this system. It's very quiet, very smooth, very comfortable. Quite high up, but I feel fairly safe. And there's more of Hat Yai over there. There's a Kong temple down there, which is another very attractive temple. And I'm a bit confused because this temple here, the elephant one, was the first stop coming up. And I thought it was lower than the Golden Buddha, but from the cable car station we actually look down on the Golden Buddha, which looks lower. Just me, I'm getting old. So I was planning to drive to the next temple with the big Golden Buddha, but the cable car trip has brought me there already, so there's no need to drive now. I'll just need to take the cable car back to collect the car later. So we'll now have a look around this temple. For some reason there are a lot of cops here, although I think it's just a pleasure trip. This is probably the best view of all from just in front of the Golden Buddha statue. Over there we've got the university campus, Napalai Place, tall building, Lee Gardens Plaza. Just a perfect day. There's this lovely cool breeze, blue sky, puffy white clouds. Down there, Kong temple. Who said Hat Yai is ugly? It's not at all ugly. Beautiful place. Good place to come today if you want to find a policeman. Let's just take a quick look inside the temple area. I'll have to remove my shoes first. As I think I've said before, I was born Christian, but I'm not a believer, and I'm not really a believer in any religion, but philosophically I am closer to Buddhism than anything else. But I don't go through all of the ceremonial stuff that the Thais do with the merit making. I'm quite happy for my wife to do it, and she wants the kids to do it, but I don't do it myself. I thought about coming here to make a video before and kept putting it off and putting it off. I thought, well, if I don't do it today, I'll never do it, and it's just turned out to be a perfect day. There's a little room underneath the Golden Buddha, and at first I thought these monks were real and not, they're just waxworks. A very, very friendly lady who's just given me some of her fruit, and she's selling some little Buddhist type souvenirs here if you want to buy something as a memento of your visit. Okay, Cob Crab, Sardi Crab. This is the place where you can get your incense and candles and lotus flowers to make merit. And the staff here seem to have a little sideline selling fruit. The lady inside wanted me to taste her fruit, and when I said it was good, she wanted me to buy some. and they keep trying to get me to buy some of these coconuts, my prow on soft coconuts, which they tell me are very good. 35 baht. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the cable car back to the elephant temple and get my car, and then go to try to find the third temple, and there's also an observatory up here somewhere. I'd actually forgotten how steep the incline is coming up the hill. I've been in first gear most of the time, and there's this big storm drain next to the road, and if you drive into this you're going to be in a lot of trouble. It will just break your suspension. The first time I came here, it was by tuk-tuk, and the driver brought me to the park and then wouldn't take me up to the temples, and I didn't know why. He couldn't speak English and my Thai was very limited at the time, and it's because the tuk-tuk just hasn't got the power to get up that hill. Your car needs to be, you know, fairly powerful, and it's very important that your brakes are in good condition as well. Here is the observatory. They built it some years ago now. I don't know anything about this. I'm not sure who can use it or when, so I'm just going to go inside and try and find out a bit more information. The observatory is open from 8:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon. It's closed on Monday and Tuesday. And they've got quite large telescopes. The guy tells me at the moment, because of cloud cover, you can't see anything. So inside it's like a museum, and like, you know, it's got educational things about the planets, and there's also a room where they show a documentary about the solar system. No one here. And just outside they've got examples of the telescopes that they've got upstairs. Here, 1, 2, quite big telescopes, but as he's told me, because of cloud cover, you can't see anything at the moment. The room where they show the documentary of the universe or the solar system is just like a very small cinema. I'm the only person here, so I'm not going to ask the guy to put on the film just for me. I'm now actually getting quite disorientated. I went to the elephant temple, got the cable car to the Golden Buddha temple, then went back on the cable car to the elephant temple, got in the car, drove up to the observatory. I've just realised that the observatory is behind the Golden Buddha temple where I was earlier, and I might have driven past the third temple. I'm not sure where it is. Anyway, as you can probably see in the distance, there's rain coming. There's dark clouds and you can actually see rain over there. I think it's coming this way. I've seen most of what I want to see today, so I think I'm going to call it a day with this video and go and pick my son up. I hope you've enjoyed this little look at Hat Yai Municipal Park. It's definitely worth a visit if you go to Hat Yai. If you've got any comments, questions or other feedback, please leave them below, and there'll be more videos soon.